but seems now more certain than ever that the bloody experience of Vietnam is to end in a stalemate. This summer's almost certain standoff will either end in real give-and-take negotiations or terrible escalation. And for every means we have to escalate, the enemy can match us, and that applies to invasion of the North, the use of nuclear weapons, or the mere commitment of 100 or 200 or 300,000 more American troops to the battle. And with each escalation, the world comes closer to the brink of cosmic disaster.
You see, the war was such a great mistake. We went into Vietnam in order to preserve a democracy which did not exist. The fact of the matter was, South Vietnam was a monarchy, and a rather cruel one. We were fighting for an already lost cause before we ever put the first foot into the country.
Never has so much power been used so ineffectively as in Vietnam. If after all of this time and all of this sacrifice and all of this support, there is still no end in sight, then I say the time has come for the American people to turn to new leadership, not tied to the policies and mistakes of the past. I pledge to you, we shall have an honorable end to the war in Vietnam.
Well, he did run with the promise that he had a secret plan that he was going to unveil after the election to end the war.
The war was enough to drive you crazy. People were being drafted. 50,000 American soldiers were killed. 50,000.
40% of all the young Americans who died in Vietnam died during those 4 years after Nixon was elected in 1968.
We have adopted a plan which we have worked out in cooperation with the South Vietnamese for the complete withdrawal of all U.S. combat ground forces. As South Vietnamese forces become stronger, the rate of American withdrawal can become greater. I have not and do not intend to announce the timetable for our program.
We meet today to reaffirm those ageless values that gave us birth: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we meet to declare peace, to put an end to war, not in some distant future, but to put an end to it now.
I like to be liked. I don't like to say things that everybody doesn't agree with. When peace marchers come to Washington, it would be very easy to say, I agree with them. I will do what they want. But a president has to do what he considers to be right, because I believe that sometimes it is necessary to draw the line clearly, not to have enmity against those who disagree, but to make it clear that there can be no compromise where such great issues as self-determination and freedom and a just peace are involved.
I recall approaching the Treasury building one evening, and there were just streams of them coming down the street, and they all had candles, some sort of symbolism that they were using. And back in those days, I smoked cigars, and I recall just walking up to one of them, grabbing his wrist, you know, and taking the candle and lighting my cigar with it. And I looked him in the eye and said, there, at least you're useful for some purpose, and then went on by. That was our attitude toward them.